You trade in your car. You hand over the keys, watch it disappear, and drive home in something new. Then, for years, you may keep paying for the car that just left. That sounds impossible. The old lender gets paid. The old account closes. The old car is gone. But if the car is worth less than its payoff amount, the missing balance does not vanish. It can move into the next loan. A trade-in can remove the car without removing the debt. And that is how a fresh start can become one payment carrying two different cars. At the dealership, you do not see a ghost car parked beside the new one. You see clean seats, new keys, a monthly number. The important question is not only, can I make that payment? It is, what exactly is that payment paying for? The Federal Trade Commission gives a simple example. Imagine your current car is worth $15,000, but the payoff on its loan is $18,000. The car leaves a $3,000 hole. That $3,000 can come from your down payment, or it can be added to the next loan. If it enters the new loan, you do not just repay the old shortfall, you pay interest on it too. Nothing was forgiven. The debt did not shrink. It changed vehicles. Now scale that example up to the real market. In the second quarter of 2026, Edmunds found that 29.6% of trade-ins toward new vehicle purchases had negative equity. That is nearly 3 out of every 10 trade-ins in that group. The average shortfall was $6,884. That is not a small fee hiding at the bottom of a contract. It is thousands of dollars from yesterday arriving before the new car does. So how does the gap open? Think of the car and the loan as two clocks. One clock tracks what the vehicle is worth. The other tracks what you still owe. They do not move together. The vehicle changes value in the market. The loan balance follows the contract. Whenever the payoff amount is higher than the vehicle's current value, the space between them is negative equity. It is not a mysterious penalty. It is subtraction. Payoff amount minus trade-in value equals the gap. The gap can grow when the original amount financed is large, the down payment is small, the vehicle loses value, or the loan balance falls too slowly. And one detail makes the whole system easier to miss. People shop in monthly payments. That is understandable. The payment is the number that touches the household budget every month. But a monthly payment is an answer, not an explanation. It can combine the new vehicle, an old shortfall, financed add-ons, the interest rate, and the length of the loan into one friendly-looking number. Change the term, and that number can move even when the amount being financed does not disappear. Stretch the balance across more months, and each slice can look smaller. The debt is not smaller, it is sliced thinner. This is the uncomfortable part. A lower payment can come with a higher total cost. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau warns that longer auto loans can lower the monthly payment while increasing the interest paid over the life of the loan. Longer terms can also increase the risk of owing more than the vehicle is worth. Depreciation does not read your loan contract. Life does not wait for the two clocks to line up either. A job changes. A family needs more space. A repair changes the plan. Someone wants a different car before the old balance has caught up. That is when the gap reaches the dealership. The paperwork may show the previous loan as paid off. Technically, it was. But paying the old lender is not the same as erasing the old debt. Part of that debt may now be sitting inside the amount financed on the new contract. The old account is closed. The obligation survived. And the payment shows the weight of that history. For new vehicle loans involving a negative equity trade-in, Edmunds reported an average monthly payment of $944 in the second quarter of 2026. That was $167 above the new vehicle industry average for the same quarter. The visible pain is the monthly payment. The deeper cost is how long the balance stays with you and how much interest collects along the way. Edmunds projected that these buyers would pay an average of $16,270 in interest over the life of the new loan. That was nearly $6,500 more than the average new vehicle buyer in that quarter. That does not mean every extra dollar came only from the old car. Loan sizes, rates, and terms all matter. But it shows the kind of expensive structure these buyers are entering. Same car, two buyers. One financed the sticker, the other financed the sticker plus a ghost. The second contract carries a history the vehicle itself does not have. And these are not necessarily ancient cars being dragged back to the lot. The average underwater trade-in in the Edmunds data was 4 years old. It is also tempting to blame the vehicle. Maybe the owner chose a model that lost value unusually fast. But Edmunds found large negative equity losses even among popular trucks and sedans that have traditionally held their value well. That changes the diagnosis. A strong vehicle can still be overwhelmed by a large balance, a long term, and an early trade. The car matters. The financing structure matters too. Now comes the part that turns one bad gap into a cycle. Suppose the shortfall from car 1 enters the loan for car 2. Loan 2 starts with old debt already inside it. If car 2 is traded while that new balance is still above its value, part of the problem can move again into car 3. You are not making 3 separate payments. You are making one payment with 3 chapters hidden inside it. The debt stops belonging to any particular vehicle. It follows the owner. And the pattern has been moving in the wrong direction. In the second quarter of 2025, 26.6% of trade-ins toward new vehicles were underwater. 1 year later, the share was 29.6%. More trade-ins arrived carrying a balance the vehicle could not cover. There is a simple way to make this system visible before the monthly payment compresses it. Use 3 numbers. First, the actual payoff amount on the current loan, not just the balance shown in an app. The payoff amount can be different because of interest, fees, or other charges. Second, the current trade-in value of the vehicle. Subtract that value from the payoff. If the result is positive, that is the gap looking for somewhere to go. Third, the total amount financed on the new contract. That number shows what the new payment is actually carrying. Payoff, value, amount financed. 3 lines turn the magic trick back into arithmetic. The monthly payment still matters, but now it cannot hide the recipe. Have you ever been offered a lower car payment that came with a much longer loan? That is the moment this system becomes visible. A trade-in can change what sits in your driveway. It cannot erase what remains on the balance. The car leaves, the debt does not.